Hello everybody, welcome back to Ryan Rekt Ranked. I'm still not used to saying it. Alliteration is hard, everybody. And I am joined, once again, by Jocelyn Moffett of the Angry Chicken. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. We did not just speak prior to starting this recording.
No, not even a little. It's not like we do a podcast together or anything.
Yeah, and now we're recording this right after. So, from last week, we remember my quest was to build a deck and build it without net decking. So I learned two things, how to build a deck and what net decking was. So I think I took your advice and I went with a Shaman deck, which was sort of crafted. The idea was crafted based on the fact that we opened a bunch of cards last episode, and I asked, what class do you think I should go with? And I think Shaman and Rogue was one. And I hadn't played a lot of Shaman, so I went Shaman.
Yeah, you basically had enough cards to, sorry. Excuse me. You basically had enough cards that you could either go with Shaman or Rogue, and your Shaman cards were pretty fantastic, so I think in the end we decided. Plus, Rogue can be a little bit complicated because of, well, Shaman and Rogue each have their complications. Shaman has Overload and Rogue has Combo, but Shaman is the easiest kind of to wrap your head around.
Yeah. So we're going to play a game of Ranked, and Jocelyn's going to be like, why'd you put that card in? That's terrible. And I really don't know what strategy you're going with here, Ryan. So I'm thinking I'm going to get rid of this guy because he's high mana.
Yep.
And this one too, maybe?
Yep.
This one's fine?
Yes.
Okay. I still don't believe I've really nailed the mulligan ruling. I didn't know I had that card in there. Sweet.
It can be difficult to wrap your head around, for sure.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll be like, I'm just going to throw away all my high mana cards. And then I realize, like, well, it might have been good to, like, pocket that one because it's key to a strategy that involves a bunch of other.
Usually, you don't want to have a combo that's more than 2 or 3 cards. Like a 3-card combo is doable if you're going for 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that's usually crazy. But in terms of keeping combo pieces, you very rarely want to do that. Usually, you want to get whatever your good starting board state is as fast as possible.
Should I use my hero power here, or should I equip a weapon and start taking down these trees?
Since it's druid, you're probably gonna want to start taking out his minions as soon as possible.
Okay, you can do that. I'm a lumberjack. Oh, you're dead.
They have such an interesting death sound.
Yeah. So happy. I was just gonna say I'm looking at his. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll mistakenly look at their card back and think, if it's like the base card back, it's like, oh, this guy's a newbie, and then if I look at this, it's like, I don't even know what that is. We're screwed. It's like a glaive of some kind.
That one I think is heroic Blackrock, maybe.
Maybe. So we don't really have a choice here.
So yeah, you can either Flametongue or you can use your hero power. Hero power is pretty much best because you don't have anything else on the board.
So far, this is pretty calm. We're both biding our time, it seems.
Oh yeah.
That's the scary part, because I feel like this deck doesn't have a lot of like minion removal, so it might be tough for me to like keep up with them. Like this thing, I've been seeing it all over the place. These stupid piloted shredders.
Yes, the shredders came out of goblins versus gnomes.
Yeah, so now I'm kind of looking. I have a couple options here, so I can either buff this totem and have him go one-on-one, but he still won't be able to kill him.
You're gonna have to take 4 to the face, pretty much.
Yeah.
And kill off your totem. If you want to take out the shredder right now.
Okay, fine. Fine. I should take out the thingy, because he's mean. So I'll do that. Oh, 4 to the face, and that's not too bad, I suppose.
No, he's probably gonna take out your Flametongue though, which is kind of shitty, but.
Yeah, but he doesn't know what else I got cooking.
That is true.
I don't know what I have cooking. Oh, another one. We just got rid of you. See, this is what happened. This is probably the problem I have with this deck is that it can quickly get overwhelmed. So unless I get, maybe I don't have enough time.
No, actually, that Totemic is actually a really good play. Because you need to try to establish some more board control. You need to give him more things that he needs to kill. So something that spawns more than one. And actually, Mana Tide is a really good one too. And then now you're going to get another totem. And then all of that together, you can, Bloodlust on top of 4 things. If he doesn't kill anything off, if he goes for your face, then that's going to work out real well for you.
Exactly. Theoretically, we should have dudes on the board after this, unless he does like a weird board
Unless
clear.
he swipe. Even if he swipes you,
he'll get a couple. But actually, if he swipes, he'll go shot for shot. I think it depends on the type of player. Like, if it were me, I'd go for the guys. Well, it's a tough call. Like, you can either go for the guys who. Oh, he's gonna do that. Great, thank you. So he's gonna go for the zero power, but the spell. See, now I'm.
Yeah, because healing and spell damage are more important than your ability to do 1 damage with your little totem dude.
Yeah.
So now, probably best to go with your fire elemental and use your 3 damage to kill off his shredder.
Yeah.
Because that's your best real on-curve play.
Oh, shoot. Well, I suppose I should just kill this thing. Try to. Well. Is it worth?
But the thing is, you're not actually going to do anything with that play. This way, you still have something on board, which means he has to deal with it. So
okay.
make him use up an attack or a spell or a hero power or something to deal with your 1/1, as opposed to just running it into something that it can't kill anyway.
Okay. See, I get overzealous, and I'm like, well, it's better if he has 1 health left than 2, right? But you're right. Like, I'm losing something on the board. So.
And especially where you have 2 Bloodlust in your hand. See now, so he had to use a Wrath in order to get rid of your totem. Oh, that's an interesting play.
What he shouldn't have done? I don't know. To me, like, go for the guy who has the 6 attack power.
Well, yeah, but you have Wrath. You want to use your Wrath to help you draw cards as Druid, because Druid doesn't have a lot of card draw, so.
Okay. What's this Death Rattle? Gain an empty mana crystal. Lose a mana crystal. So I have the ability to kill any one of these if I want to with this 1 thing.
True.
I could heal a bit.
You don't need to heal yet.
No, you're okay. Interesting. See, I don't know that. When do you need to heal? You can probably just save that right to the end then.
You can heal in your next turn because Druid has a combo on turn 9 that they're probably going to try to use. So you want to heal up before that. So you're going to want to use yours next turn, but you're probably safe to get away with not healing this turn.
So I should clear a minion then, right?
Well, you kind of need to establish a board, and probably the better way to do that would be your Raider and your hero power. Because that'll make him a 6/6, and you'll have a totem.
Okay. No, that's a good call. I usually see the thing for me is like, oh man, I feel like I'm being overwhelmed, right? So I'm like, I got to get rid of it. But I've found even with games in this where I'm in this position where I've got low health, but I end up winning because I have some Inspire minions that just help me take over the board. And they play a really strong start game, but they don't have a strong end game. So with this 6/6, he has a choice of burning all 3 of these.
Exactly.
Or taking 6 to the face.
Exactly. What he'll probably do is take, or I would imagine, 1/1. All right, fair enough. So, but he's still going to have to sack.
Oh, I think he just beat us. He did.
He did.
Oh my god. It wouldn't have helped even if we did heal.
No.
Oh, I can't. Well played.
What did he?
Oh, he used everything and gave all his minions 1/1. That was short-lived.
Nobody plays that card.
Well, he did, and it won him the game. So somebody let him know. That was quick. I did not expect to lose that fast. So do you want to go over the deck list now and
Sure.
see what it? That was a lot faster than I thought. You can't see this unless you're. So you can see this. All right. So one of the things, and this is probably the more important part of the episode anyways, I was kind of hoping to last a little longer. So one of the things that we commented at the very beginning was that you were surprised that I couldn't fit my entire deck in the screen.
Exactly.
Is that something that I should not do?
In general, most deck, if you like look at a pro stream or whatever, the first thing you should notice is when you're looking at a deck, the whole entire thing pretty much fits on the stream or like on the screen at one time. You might have to scroll once or twice depending on what kind of a deck it is you're playing. If it has a lot of legendaries, you'll see them have to scroll, but for the most part they don't. And the reason for that is that because you can have 2 copies of a card in your deck, the whole idea is that if you have 2 copies of something, you're much more likely to draw it. So
right.
You, in a deck this, I guess, varied, you don't have a lot of consistency. So you want to kind of build a strategy around your deck, or a deck around your strategy, however you want to look at it. And in order to do that, you need consistency. You need to know like what cards you're looking for in your mulligan, what you're going to play first, what you're going to play during the mid game to kind of take over tempo. And what tempo is basically like who has like initiative in the game, or like who is in control right now, who has a bigger board, who has more stuff going on. That's tempo. So you want to get ahead on board. You want to get more minions out there than your opponent. You want to kind of basically always have him reacting to what you're doing as opposed to you reacting to what he's doing. And that's where like you could kind of see in that game that you just played, you lost that game probably around like turn 3.
Okay.
And you could just tell because you were always reacting to and trying to figure out what to do with what your opponent had done instead of worrying about like how to create your board and move your game forward and move through your strategy because you didn't really have a strategy.
Okay, so yeah, so I guess I can sort of state the madness to this is we talked about the Totem Shaman deck, and we got some key cards that sort of apply to that. So I think I have those key cards, so I'll try to pick them out. Like obviously the Totem Golem.
Right. So why do you have one of those instead of 2? Do you only have one in your collection?
I don't. I have a gold one. I thought a gold one would be cool, so I put him in. I didn't see. That's the other thing too, is I didn't realize. I figured like, well, do I want 2 of these? I guess if anything, I want 2 of those opposed to everything else because that's a key card to the strategy. Same with probably the Flametongue Totem, which you can already tell I only have 1 of. Yes. So why don't we do this? Why don't we go through one by one?
Do you want to go through and see what we can take out?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So, Ancestral Healing. Restore a minion to full health and give it taunt. That sounded cool to me.
It is cool, but it's not really, like...
Toss it?
You're basically... The other thing you have to think about when you're building a deck is the fact that you only have 30 cards. Mm-hmm. So, even though that one is cool, restoring a minion to full health and giving it taunt... And it costs 0 mana, so it's not going to take up any of your mana, but it is taking up a card slot. And where you're trying to build a totem deck, that card slot is going to be really important. Each and every card slot in your deck is really important. So taking it up with something like that is kind of like, well, we can do better than Ancestral Healing, basically. Yeah, so because you're not building a Shaman spell power deck, you're building a totem deck, so... Generally, your spells are probably the ones you're going to want to get rid of. Okay. That being said, Totemic Might you should have 2 of because you're going to have a lot of totems.
All right, so Forked Lightning, yay or nay?
Yeah, you can keep that. Removal is always a good thing to have, especially in the early game. So Forked Lightning is not a terrible one, but Frost Shock can come out. In general, a Earth Shock is better than a Frost Shock because they essentially do the same thing, but there's so many things in the game now that do extra that having the ability to silence things is way more important than having the ability to freeze things, because when you freeze a character, you only kind of stop it from attacking for 1 turn.
Yeah, and I've noticed the silence. Yeah, you're right. That's actually a really key point because I've noticed with all the Inspire stuff, a silence is like key because not only does it remove, say, an Inspire ability, it also takes him down a peg. So like the Raider, if you had gotten maybe an extra 6 attack and health on him, you can really stub the toe of your opponent by silencing that guy, whereas he thought he was creating a killer move. So
yeah, he thought he was going to have a 6/6, and all of a sudden he's got a 4/3.
Exactly. Yeah. So is that something I should throw in there? Because I think the only silence I have is this Frost. Maybe it's worth swapping them.
The Owl is good because the Owl leaves you a minion, so He's also a really good silence. He's a better silence than, and you probably have him, Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker's not terrible, but Owl is better because Spellbreaker takes up the 4 mana spot, and you can do a lot of stuff with 4 mana. The great thing about the Owl is basically what you want it for is that silence effect.
Right.
And so you can get that silence effect for 2 mana.
So
trying to fit a Spellbreaker into your turn for 4 mana is really difficult, and you can only do it in later game, and usually you have more stuff that you want to do late game, so
okay, so
Spellbreaker can come out.
Swap and put in an Earth Shock?
Yep.
Alright, so Lightning Bolt, another sort of clear 3 damage for basically 1 mana this turn, 1 mana next turn.
Yeah, you can get rid of that. Lightning Bolt is not that great.
Plus 3 attack.
Rockbiter is, so you're going to want to put another one in.
Okay. So this weapon, which looked to be a new weapon I got from something, because I only have one of them. Is it worth keeping a weapon in there?
We'll take it out for now because I'm not sure how much room you're going to have in your deck, so we'll take it out for now. You can also probably take out the Ooze because I'm trying to think what's really popular right now. There's a lot of Mage, there's a lot of... I guess there's Paladin. Mm-hmm. Paladins often have a weapon that would be helpful to destroy, but that's another one that we'll leave out for now and see how much space you've got left.
Sure. So we want another...
You want another Flametongue for sure. You can take the Grunt out completely.
Okay.
We've got, 1 Owl is usually pretty standard.
2 Totem Golems.
Yep. Hex is another one that you're... 1 for now is good. We're probably going to go for 2 because that's essentially a removal. You can Hex any minion, and it just turns into a 0/1 frog.
Yeah.
So...
I always get pissed off when someone plays that. I'm like, I just summoned a 7 mana 7/5/4, or however we learned how to pronounce it last time, and now it's a 0/1.
Screw you.
I got one of these in there. If he's important, I will say once again, the only reason I have one is because I had a gold card.
Yeah. And again, like I think Earthen Ring, Scarlet Crusader, like those guys, we can take them out. Earthen Ring's not terrible, but I think we can do better than that. You should have 2 Totemics if you have 2 of them.
Is he a common?
No, he's a Shaman.
Oh, no, I don't.
You only have 1.
Can I craft him?
Possibly.
Wait. Oh, crap. Let's see. Spoiler alert, look at all these sweet cards.
Yeah, so for 40 dust, you can create him, so I'd go ahead and make him.
Wow, that's not a lot. I thought it was going to be 400.
I think that's for the gold version.
Oh, well, we don't need that.
No.
Okay, so I will throw him in. That was cool. Everyone got to see that. I've never created a card before.
Oh, cool.
Unbound Elemental.
Yeah, you can take him out, because basically you can have a Spell Power Shaman, you can have a Mech Shaman, you can have an Overload Shaman, and then you can have a Totem Shaman. So we're aiming for Totem, so we want to kind of steer away from anything that is Mech or Overload or any of that kind of stuff because they just don't really belong in the deck. We're at the place now in Hearthstone where there's enough cards that you can go really thematic and the themes are really strong, as opposed to kind of mix and match from a whole bunch of other things. So really, if it's got Totem in the name, it should absolutely be going in your deck.
So I'm probably spoiling the end here, but having already been in the crafting mode, are we going to go in there and look at other totem cards that we could be crafting to put into this deck?
We'll see what you're missing, okay. But that is a possibility.
All right, so Dark Iron Dwarf Battlecry add 2 attack.
He is a good minion, but again, it kind of depends what you're missing. So I'd like to get you down to the point where we're kind of trying to fill it up.
Okay.
I'd like to get the other cards in there first. Fire Elementals are really, really good. I just noticed because he's right in my face. But yeah, Fire Elemental's really good in any deck. The ability to deal 3 damage helps you clear a lot of things. So yeah, that's a really good. And because it's a battle cry, you can't silence it in any way. So you get that 3 damage regardless. And then you still have a 6/5 body left over afterwards.
Okay. Evil Heckler.
Yeah, you can take him out for now. You don't have the adventures, right? So you don't have Sludge Belchers?
No, I guess not. I have the
so we might come back to the Heckler. We might.
Okay.
I'll have to think about that one.
So we got Maiden of the Lake. Your hero power costs 1.
So I think absolutely put another one of her in if you've got her, because where you're trying to build a totem, basically the more you can use your hero power that makes totems, and the better. So you're going to want her, and you're going to want basically anything that's going to discount your hero power.
Okay, I think...
Oh, you only have one of her.
Do you want me to craft one?
I think just wait for now because you don't have a ton of dust. But yeah, keep it in mind that we might want to make another one of her.
Okay, Wind Speaker, give a friendly minion Wind Fury.
Again, one of those kind of meh cards, middle of the road.
Okay, we can make some
It
space.
involves you having to have something on board in order to do it. And so it might end up being something that's just dead in your hand because you can't use it. Bloodlust is great because you're going to have a lot of totems, so you're always going to have stuff. And Bloodlust allows you to actually take your 0 attack totems and make them have attack.
Yeah.
So the problem, the problem with your giving your totems Wind Fury is if they have 0 attack, that doesn't actually do anything. So the fact that you have a whole bunch of totems on board with 0 attack, Bloodlust is great, Wind Fury not so much.
Yeah, good point. These next couple are basically like, hey, these are new TGT mechanics. So we got the Cavalier Raider. That's not
Valdir.
I prefer my pronunciation. Yeah.
So anything with Inspire is also going to work really well in this deck because you are going to essentially be making a totem as often as possible. So that means you're going to be using your hero power as often as possible. So anything that is an Inspire card is a great thing to add. So yeah, I would put another Raider in.
I only have one Mukla.
Yeah, the Muckless Champion is also really great, again, because you're going to have a lot of 0 attack totems on board. So if you can make them beefier and if you can get them to start having some attack, then that makes them more and more useful. So Muckless Champion, and again, because you're going to play him and then Inspire, and then that is going to get buffed. He's a really great card. So is he a common or is he yeah, he is a common. So we actually might craft another Muckless as opposed to going with the Maiden of the Lake.
Okay. Thunder Bluff Valiant, give your totems
absolutely
+2 attack.
Absolutely.
That's another one I only have one of.
He's a shaman, I think.
Oh, right. I should be able to tell, but yeah, because it's blue. Yeah.
Yeah, you have one. So how much does it cost to craft a rare? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Is he a rare?
Yeah, he's a rare.
Oh, well, he might... 100.
Yeah, he's 100.
So we could make one of him and
one
Mukla.
of Muckless, and I think that might be a good way to go.
Okay, let's do that right now then. And I can always try to burn some more dust if we have some, or get some more dust if we get another card that we absolutely need to toss in here. But it sounds like my next, it might be worth going.
I love his flavor text so much.
Oh, allowing totems to attack is not cheating. I mean, there isn't anything in the rule books about it. Nice.
The flavor text in Hearthstone is probably my favorite part of the game.
And it's probably something a lot of people don't see, right? Because they're not usually clicking on cards. We're going to do Mukla.
Yeah, he's neutral.
Mukla. There you are. Alright. Well, we can't craft anymore, but I think we might be there in terms of crafting. So, Ardent Commander, seems like, now that I look at it, this is kind of embarrassing, because a 4 for 2 at 6 mana, it's probably not.
It's not a terrible card. It's often a finisher that's put in kind of to replace Leroy Jenkins, but in charge decks. And so that's kind of one thing that you don't have in this deck right now is any kind of like big finisher. So normally that's things like Dr. Boom, who is a legendary. And it's kind of tough because I'm not 100% sure what exactly is in your collection. But if you go into your... Oh man, it's sometimes I forget how difficult it is to come in brand new to this game.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's funny because a lot of the times when you're hearing people who play for a long time, they've purchased a lot of cards. They've been playing for the last year and a bit. So if there's a standard card that everybody has that's been buying even one pack every couple weeks or every week or so based on quests completed, you're probably going to get like that common card that everyone has in their deck. But where me, I've maybe, I don't even know, I could probably count the amount of TGT packs I've opened on both my, I guess we did 10 in one video and I've done a little more, so maybe 15 or so, but common packs like probably 20, maybe the same amount. I probably opened more TGT packs than I have original packs, so yeah, so based on the last two cards we haven't looked at, the Argent Commander and the Lord of the Arena, those are just high mana cards that I thought did cool stuff that the deck might need, considering I don't have any like totem, unless I went with the Storm. Maybe it'd be best to go with the Stormwind Champion, but I figured if I have a bunch of like totems sitting around, I need something to protect their low health, right?
But the thing is, you're going to be creating more and more totems every single turn, so protecting them isn't necessarily as important as being able to either remove threats from your enemy or just outright kill your enemy. So removing threats, something that is, you know, should be in your deck if you have one, I don't know if you do, is a big game hunter.
Probably not. No.
No, okay. So go back to Shaman cards.
I should probably write these down.
You need another Hex for sure if you don't have a BGH. Because again, like, you want to basically neutralize anything big and crazy that your opponent plays. So like if you're playing against a Paladin and he throws down a Tyrion, like you need to be able to get rid of that like right away. Okay, so I think we've pretty much, can you go back to your previous Shaman page?
Yep.
And back again. I think you're missing the totem that lets you draw cards. The oh shoot, now I can't remember.
Let's see. Oh, the Vitality Totem?
No, not the Vitality one. The
the Manatide Totem.
Manatide, that's it. I'm like, there's water.
Oh man, 100 dust. So I'm gonna write this down. So, and by write it down, I'm gonna put it in my handy Hearthstone device. So the Manatide Totem is something I want to look at getting.
Just, I mean, as a comparison for someone who has many more cards, I have currently. So I'm just gonna click into my Shaman. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages worth of Shaman cards in my collection.
Wow. Okay.
And you have like 3.
So and
there's a big difference.
That's the whole point of this this series, is to kind of look at the difference between someone who's been you've been playing a lot longer than I have. It's not about money. It's not about
no.
It's more about time.
Exactly. I was a free-to-play player for a really long time before I started buying packs. I didn't start buying packs probably till GBG.
Okay. So Manatide Totem, would I want to put 2 of those in there if I could? Probably, right?
If you could, yeah, because that's going to help you draw cards. Okay. You don't have a ton of card draw, if any, now.
I think I might have literally 0, yeah. Okay, so...
Yeah, like 2, I think, actually, if we got rid of Argent Commander and Lord of the Arena... and instead put in your 7 mana Stormwind Champion, I think, which would give everything 1/1. Yeah, Stormwind Champion, so 2 of those.
Okay. And
then if you do have stuff that you want to get rid of that you can craft, if you have like 200 dust worth of stuff. Do you have any epic cards, maybe?
Probably.
Go into crafting mode.
Oh, yes.
It's still only... First of all, disenchant extra cards, because that's going to drive me crazy.
Aha. Yeah. 5. There we go.
I don't know how you just leave it sitting there. It has a blue outline, Ryan.
So crafting, and you probably want me to filter by... Can I do that?
That's your set, so all sets is fine, but if you just search for epic...
Oh. Epic. Epic. Can I not just show what I own?
It is showing what you own, which is nothing.
I don't own any epic cards?
Not in Shaman or Neutral, apparently. So click done, and it's going to ask you if you want to automatically... whatchamacallit? Yeah, so say no. You don't want to finish it automatically. But this will bring you back to your full entire collection.
Okay.
So now if you go into crafting mode and type epic, it'll show you everything. And you've got to have some epic in somewhere. Okay, here we go. So
Sea Reaver?
So no one uses that card.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm trusting you as a Hearthstone expert. If I get a PM on Twitter or something, or a DM on Twitter, it's like, that's the best card ever. Dreadsteed looks dumb.
Yeah, people are saying that it's viable, but I don't really think so.
I'm gonna take. I think like
your Manatide totems in your Shaman deck, because that's what you're really going to be working towards right now, and that's kind of key. When you're new to the game, what you should be doing is trying really, really hard to create a deck that you find is fun. Mm-hmm. And so disenchanting cards, whether they're viable in the meta or not, if they're not in a deck that you're playing, it's a perfectly legitimate strategy. So now you can go back into Shaman and you can craft your Manatide.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
×2.
Sweet deal. Look at that animation. All right, let's finish this bad boy off. One, and look at that, Jocelyn. It fits on one screen, just like you said all the pros do.
And look at all those 2s. That means that anything with a 2 beside it is going to be much more likely for you to draw. So I think when you have a 2 of a card in your deck, right when you're starting the game, you have about a 7% chance to draw that card. Mm-hmm. And so if you only have 1 copy, you only have like a 3% chance to draw that card. So basically, and then obviously the smaller your deck gets, the higher the chances to draw the card. But obviously, if you have 2 copies of something, your chance to draw it is always going to be doubled. So you want to kind of like, basically the biggest part of RNG in Hearthstone, which is like random number generation, whatever. The biggest amount of randomness in Hearthstone is what cards you pull out of your deck. So all the other randomness is mostly controllable, but the one thing that you have absolutely zero control over is what cards you draw. The best way to try to control that before you go into the game is either putting card draw in your deck or making sure that your deck is built so that you draw the cards that you know you're going to need. So more copies of cards that you really want to get is always a good thing. So, and if you hover over where it says TGT Shaman, like right at the top there, so that's what your mana curve looks like.
Okay.
Pretty solid. We're kind of missing 4 drops, and I'm not sure why. But at the same time, like, you're going to be weaving your hero power in there. We've got a fair amount of 1 and 2 drops. I'm not too worried about what your deck looks like right now. It looks okay. It's pretty solid. Given your card collection, I think it's a pretty solid deck. Yeah,
we had to craft a bit, so that's fine. But we didn't really have to trade much. Just a couple cards that we're not going to use that nobody should use, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's really good. So that now we have a deck. I'll be testing it out over the next week or so. What is my next assignment?
Oh man, I didn't think of an assignment for you this week.
Do you want to? Well, here's what we can do. I've had a couple people talk to me about. It's like, oh, you know, is Ryan Rekt Ranked a series where you're going to pull other folks in? Maybe we could give you a week off, and we'll see who we can pull in next week, and maybe you can think about some other stuff that comes up. I know the adventures keep coming up. What do you think?
Well, I don't want to give you any homework where you have to buy something, because I think that's mean.
Yeah, it's considering it's been an expensive month. So
yeah, do you have Naxxramas?
I do have. Let's look at the solo adventures here. I have a couple of them opened up. So I have two wings.
Quarters. Yeah. So you still have Frostworm and Construct. I'm trying to remember where you get Sludge Belcher.
Sludge Belcher? Sounds like Sludge
because
Belcher.
Because Sludge Belcher is actually a really important card. It's really powerful. It's a 3/5. And basically what happens is it allows you to kind of play something on turn 5 that's really hard for someone to get through. So it's a 3/5 with Taunt. And then when you kill that 3/5, it creates a 1/2 with Taunt. So it's basically like double taunt. So people have to either, you know, silence it or waste a few different things. Loatheb is also really, really important. It might be the Construct Quarter, actually, where you get Sludge Belcher from.
There it is.
Oh, no, there it is.
So, okay. I own it.
Yeah, well, you don't. You have to beat the boss.
I have to beat it, but I own it. I have paid gold for it. I did not use real monies. So.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be what I'm going to say is your homework for this week, is to finish, because that's kind of the easiest way, since you've already bought them with gold. That's going to be the easiest way for you to get some new cards. And I think I saw Undertaker, Mad Scientist, and Zombie Chow in there too.
Yeah.
So all of those are really good cards. So they're good for you to, Unstable Ghoul, Belcher, Loatheb. Loatheb is really powerful. So...
yeah, so do you...
Death Lord, Spectral... Yeah, so I think you should complete the adventures, at least just what you've already purchased.
Okay. I will do said thing that you just stated, which is beating these things that I have not beaten yet. And do you think my Shaman deck will do well against those fine folks?
It's possible. Generally, when you try to beat an old adventure with cards that have come out since, it's a lot easier. Okay. Adventures are really, really difficult right when they first come out, but then as soon as like a new expansion or another adventure is released, there's often a lot more tools at your disposal that weren't in the game when the adventure was designed. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, there's one in Nax where pretty much every minion that's summoned has Death Rattle. I can't remember which battle it is. And in not Grand Tournament, Goblins versus Gnomes, there's a card called Little Exorcist, and essentially she has Taunt and gets a bonus for every Death Rattle minion on the other side of the board. Mm-hmm. So you play Little Exorcist and she just gets huge. And that card wasn't available when the adventure, when Nax was first created. So, you know, you have more tools, so it's going to be easier. I'm interested to know how the Shaman deck does. Okay. But yeah, I want to see you beat Nax.
All right, I will beat a few more wings in Nax, and we'll return next time and see how I did, and see how this Shaman...
Oh no, apparently no one wants me on here anymore, so you've got to get somebody new.
I didn't say that. I had stated a fact that I've had a few people ask, like, want to, you know, get in the fun, and some newer players and some not so newer players, and I figured if you wanted a week off, we could give you a week off, but I would happily have you keep coming back on to just siphon as much Hearthstone information as possible.
I know, I'm trying to like give you as much without overwhelming you as possible.
Well, I will say to people watching this and to you as well that these last few weeks I've actually been actively interested in playing Hearthstone and actually enjoying playing Hearthstone because I understand a little more. I'm noticing my mistakes more. I'm noticing other players' mistakes more and really enjoying that aspect. So it's not that I'm not learning anything. It's just that I know a lot of other people have different strategies for playing. But we're gonna keep doing this. True. We're gonna keep doing this until we can't do it any longer. And I think I still have a lot to learn from you. So I don't think we need to sub you out just yet. But if anyone, like, I tried Arena. If anyone's really good at Arena and wants to help me, like, construct an arena. I am not good at Arena,
so yeah, if you could get there's a couple of really good Arena tools out there, though. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but is it Hearth Arena, actually, maybe? I'm trying to remember. There's basically a program.
I tried Googling it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I tried Googling it because I did an Arena, and I got 2 wins, which I think, if I check my log, that might have been just the best I've ever done. It actually doesn't show your high, unless that's like just one.
That's the symbol for what the key looks like for your highest win. And off the top of my head, I don't know, but
I don't know either. It looks
like 1 or 2. I think 1 is kind of wooden, so
yeah. It looks low. Let's just put it that way. But I mean, that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to do. Like for people who might be more inclined to play Arena, we'll try and grab somebody that plays Arena. But for the most part, I think you've kind of got everything covered. So, yeah, I'm not trying to sub you out. I just know there are other people at different skill levels where it might be interesting. I've been thinking about doing an episode with some newer players to see if I can pass on some of this knowledge, which I hope has already happened with people watching this series. But I also don't want to corrupt people yet, so that's down the road. We'll get there eventually. But Jocelyn, thank you very much.
Having someone on for Arena I think would be a really good idea. But you are very, very welcome as always. I love talking Hearthstone, so whenever you want to have me back, it's all good.
Yeah. Once again, everybody listening at home, and Jocelyn as well, I'm not trying to replace you. By no means is that me replacing you. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Jocelyn, where can the viewers find you?
Best place to find me is over on Twitter. I'm at Joce Plays. That's JOCE Plays. And same for my new Twitch channel. So yeah, if you guys are currently following GIS Gamer on Twitter, it's fine. You've already switched over and you didn't even know it. But if you were following GIS Gamer on Twitch, you do actually have to go and follow Joce Plays. It doesn't automatically switch you over. You can't change your username, which is totally lame, but a thing that happens. So... So yeah, that's best place to find me. Twitter is really where I send out messages telling everybody when I'm going live and all that kind of stuff that I'm doing. So best place to find me is over there.
And you launched a Patreon, patreon.com/JocePlays.
That is true. So we're actually about halfway to the first goal, which is just incredible. So the first kind of patron reward, the first milestone is $100 a week. And that means that I guarantee that I will stream 5 times a week, which is really crazy and kind of hard to do, but a whole lot of fun. So I'm just completely overwhelmed by the support so far. You guys have been amazing. So thank you very much for that. And again, that's patreon.com/JocePlays.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you once again. I'm Ryan Murphy. Follow me at rmurphy. Subscribe on YouTube for more Ryan Rekt Ranked and more. I have to stop myself because I'm going to mess it up.
I know, it's hard to say.
I know. That alliterations, they're the best. Thanks, James. And yeah, check out all the other videos that are there, not just Hearthstone stuff. We did some Until Dawn, a lot of Mario Maker, getting some interesting comments from the Mario Maker stuff. Playing unreleased games is fun, folks. But yeah, check it all out. Definitely gamersinpodcast.com for more Hearthstone and video game discussions with Jocelyn and I. Yeah, thank you for watching. Tune in next week where we see how I did with solo adventures. I still don't have a sign-off.
I know. I noticed. You did well, though.
Yeah. We'll get there.